Hello, everybody. How you doing? Welcome to another episode of Recap. What you missed, Week 2, National Football League, folks. I just want to kind of go back over the games, what I watched, what stood out to me, and what didn't. You know, just to kind of keep you abreast and trying to keep you what's going on. It's not really a waiver wire show, just really observations, what Typhoon saw, what I didn't see, things of this nature. Kind of give you from my perspective, my vantage point, what I've seen, and you know what you should do. Some suggestions, basically, going on that you probably won't get from other mediums. We're a little bit different. Make sure you make sure you smash the subscribe button. Make sure you comment below. Let me know what you like, dislike from the show. Also, once again, I'm the Fantasy Typhoon, aka the Mentalist, aka your favorite analyst. So let's just sit back and go over these week 2 projections and see what happens. First, let's start off with San Francisco 49ers versus the Jets. Adam Gase and the crew. Now look, here's one thing I didn't know. Tevin Coleman plays special teams. Don't do anything for fantasy, but hey, I'm surprised to see Tevin Coleman out there playing special teams, and he's on IR now, so he's going to be out the following. So he has to be out for 3 games. Fire up Jared McKinnon because the first play of this game, Raheem Mostert, little pitch out to the right, 80 yards to the house. He hit one of the highest totals. You know, they have those little chips in their shoulder pads. And that, you know, is recording their speed. He went 23 miles per hour. That's one of the highest recorded speeds. I think it was about the last 4 or 5 years. So, but you know, Mostert was a Big Ten track champion. So, if you're ever wondering about Raheem Mostert this offseason, you put it to bed. He is the RB1. He is the number 1 running back on this team. Tevin Coleman looks worn out. Jared McKinnon is ready to rock and roll now because now Raheem Mostert is out this week. So they'll probably promote Jamal Hasty, the Hasty kid. They'll probably promote him from the practice squad. Then they got Jeff Wilson, who will be up and active. And I don't know who will start, to be honest with you. Jared McKinnon looked a little winded. That's another one of my observations. He looked a little winded. He doesn't look like he's ready for a full-fledged, don't come off the field type showing. He's not in shape. He's not in football shape, in my opinion, yet. Now, on the next series, you know, right after they did the 80-yard pitch out, it was to the right, 80-yard pitch out to Mostert. He took it to the house. Guess what they did? The second series, first play, a pitch out. Same pitch out. Raheem Mostert, once again, 80 yards for a touchdown again. But this time it was holding, so that one came back. So you didn't get to see that one. You missed that. 2 80-yard runs from Raheem Mostert in the game. They were on the second series of the game. He already got 160 and 2 tubs. Raheem Mostert is a 1. See, that little information right there makes a difference. Box score, don't see it. It didn't go down as an actual carry. It didn't in the stats, but it was there. It was a holding call. Like I was saying, Tevin Coleman doesn't look like regular old Tevin Coleman. Jimmy G got hurt, so it looks like Nick Mullen will probably start this one against the Giants. So be aware of that. Now, if I were you, if I was in a super flex, take advantage of this opportunity right now with Jimmy G and this high ankle sprain that he has. This team is loaded with weapons when it's healthy. But will this team ever be healthy is the question. You got Debo. You got Ayuk, who's getting acclimated. You got Kendrick Bourne. You got Kittle. You got Reed. You got Mostert. You got McKinnon. out of the backfield. This team will go up and down the field and score fantasy points, and score. This could be one of the top scoring offenses in the NFL if healthy. So another observation, I would try now. Go ahead and get Jimmy G on your roster right quick for a very cheap price. Hopefully he gets healthy. Hopefully Debo returns, get Ayuk up to speed to where he can actually run. Man, this is scary. Let's see. Jordan Reed looked good. Brandon Ayuk was in motion a lot, so he's a part. It's just not manifested itself yet, but when they put that guy in motion, they're reading the defense, seeing if it's man or zone. And when they put you in motion, they got plans for you. Because before him, it was Kittle that was in motion. So most will be out a couple of weeks. Coleman's down. He's on IR, so he has to be out 3 weeks. So if you lost Saquon Barkley, Jared McKinnon might be a nice little fill-in for a couple of games. Now I go to New York Jets. What I observed, Frank Gore is the oldest running back to ever start an NFL game, and yes, he can still run. Chris Hogan, with those wide receivers out. I think Perriman went out. There's a lot of injuries. Chris Hogan looked like the number one dog with what's his name? Jamison Crowder down. Hogan came in, and of course Hendon. Remember I told you last week, Herndon, the tight end, and Hogan with Crowder out, or his Sam Darnold. His blanket. Sam Darnold, he missed a lot of open receivers. Chris Herndon, he dropped a TD. LaMichael Pirine looked pretty good when he was in there. But he didn't really come into the 7-minute mark of the fourth quarter. Let's move on to the Lions versus Green Bay. Marvin Jones has 80 straight games with a catch. But I don't know. I've just never owned Marvin Jones in any of my leagues. So I just thought I'd put that in there. I've never owned Marvin Jones. So I don't know what to say about it. I've never owned Marvin Jones. Kerryon got the start. And the way it looks like with Kerryon Johnson, he got the start and he scored. And it looks like on that first series that start the game, if he doesn't score on that first series of the game, you might be out of luck if you got Kerryon Johnson in there. So when you start Kerryon Johnson at 1 o'clock, I would say by 1:20, he hasn't scored. You don't see your points move, and you might be in trouble. Stafford checks down to Swift a lot. So if you got Swift, that's good. It's good for him to come in and establish himself, get a role first, to get him on the field. Then they'll open it up and see what he looks like. But that's a double-edged sword. Because if they continue to portray him in that scat back role, he could follow the way of Duke Johnson, pretty soon get labeled as a scat back, and you're always the number 2, never the 1. So, but here's a good thing though, this regime will be out the door. So that's another thing with Swift. Swift will get a new playbook next year, and he'll get new eyes. So hopefully he doesn't get labeled as scat back and get stuck with scat back duties. I don't know whether to tell you to go trade for him in Dynasty yet right now. Let's kind of wait and see what happens with him first. Now, one thing about Swift, he is running routes out the backfield, so he's a running back that's running routes. So we got half the picture. We just need to see him. We just need to see him get carries, which he's not really getting. Lots of flags on the Lions defense. They're undisciplined. Aaron Rodgers, it's a different Aaron Rodgers this year, not due to the fact that he's doing mechanics different. He's using folks now. He's using Sternberger. He's using Teflon, whatever that other tight end name is. He's using Marquez Valdez. He's using Irwin. He's using a lot of no-name guys other than Adams. Usually he would just throw to Adams, maybe Lazard, maybe Marquez Valdes-Scantling a little bit, and then if they weren't open, he would kind of throw it away. Not this year. And it shows on his fantasy points. He's using, if you open, you getting the ball. Aaron Jones out of the backfield, Jamal Williams out of the backfield. He is using you. But look out for Davonte Adams this week. I think he's battling a hamstring. That's why he disappeared last week. He said he could have came back if it was a serious game, but the game was already in the balance, so they kind of just went ahead. Well, just go and sit down, dude. There was no pass rush. Aaron Rodgers was just sitting back, just picking them off like a sniper. So whenever Detroit plays your team, the quarterback might have a better than average day because they can't rush. They can't put any pressure on them. Last week we told you Aaron Jones is a starting running back in the NFL. He went off. He went bananas this past week. I think 2-3 touchdowns through the air and on the ground. He's running routes as well. He has very sneaky open field speed, and the offensive line is just opening up holes. It could have been just Detroit, but so Detroit, start your running backs on Detroit and against Detroit and your quarterbacks. Marquez Valdes-Scantling had every opportunity to just solidify himself as the number 2 and just walk away with it, but he just kept dropping passes. A.J. Dillon and Jordan Love came in and mop up duty. They came in with about about 5 minutes left. Game was done. Jordan Love got some burn, and A.J. Dillon got some more burn, but that dude was a bull. Sternberger dropped a couple easy passes, so how can I say it? The shift went more toward tight end Robert Tonyan. He's the one that's starting to get burned. Tried to give it to Sternberger. They tried. He didn't. He's not manning up to the duty. So they're getting ready to give it to Tonyan. So put him on your watch list in your Dynasty League. Mason Crosby is a PK pickup if you need one. Eagles versus Rams. Miles Sanders got the start, was heavily involved. It was his backfield. He had like 83%. So go ahead and put it all to bed now. Put it to bed. It's safe to go ahead and put his usage to bed. It's Miles Sanders' backfield, and it's his. He's heavily involved in the passing game. He's heavily involved in the running game. He's heavily involved. He's getting the ball. He's getting looks. They're using him, is what I'm saying. Duke will finish high. Duke should finish top 12. He's too involved. Boston Scott is a backup. He works better as a backup behind Sanders. He looks comfortable. That's a role for him. It's the way he fits. Cam Akers got the start for the Rams. He got the start. They're trying their best to just, look, Cam, here the job is yours. Just take it. But it seems like outside circumstances, he got hurt. Seemed like he got hurt this game, rib injury or something that took him out the game. So Malcolm Brown and Henderson got to take over. And then Malcolm Brown hurt his pinky. He went out. So then Henderson got a chance to really show. They're getting looks they shouldn't get. You don't want to give your back, especially running back. You don't want to give your backup running backs unnecessary looks, is what I call it. It just muddles it. They're trying to give it to Cam. They're trying to, but like I said, outside circumstances just keep getting in his way. Play action, a lot of play action, a lot of rollouts and boops. Higbee was the money player. They were looking for Higbee. They were playing a short underneath game. Lots of end rounds, lots of quick throws, and that's all from Mcveigh getting the ball out of Goff's hands quick, decisions quick, make your reads quick. Mcveigh makes Higbee. Mcveigh makes Goff. See what I'm saying? It's hard for Cooper Kupp and Higbee to have the same game at the same time because they're doing pretty much the same thing, but all right, let's say if they're running an in route. Higbee's on the slot to the right. Cups on the slot to the left. They both run out and come back and look for the ball. So they're both open. So Goff is like, he can throw it to either one is what I'm saying. It seems like some games he chooses Higbee. Some games he chooses Cup. But Cup and Higbee, they're not running the same thing, but they're basically mimicking each other as far as their pass patterns. So it's hard for both of them to have a good game at the same time. It's either or. Vikings versus the Colts. 3 straight bootlegs out of the backfield for Kirk Cousins. It was 3 incompletions and a tackle for loss. Lots of outside zone for Dalvin Cook, so he should be fine. Even though the Vikes look horrible, this team is depleted in defense. Offense just not running as good without Diggs. This team is hurting. Everything the Vikes tried to do was defended very well. They was on top of them on everything they tried to do. It was a long day. Colts, Paris Campbell got hurt on the second play of the game, so he went out very early. They fed Jonathan Taylor. They fed Jonathan Taylor a ton of. He got the whole first drive, the whole playbook. Now, I kind of, here's a tip for you, what you can do when you're watching the game. Kind of look at the first 2 series. Those are kind of scripted. They're already predetermined what they're going to do, whether it works or not. And I kind of look and see who they're using the most. And boy, they use Taylor a lot. Taylor got he got a carry, pass, carry. He took them pretty much down the field, but and the offensive line is good. But here's the thing. I don't know. It's something about Taylor. I'm looking at Taylor. I'm watching Taylor. And you know I can spot talent. I came away more impressed with Taylor's performance about how many carries he got and how much usage he was in. He was like the 14 out of all the running backs. He was the 14th most utilized running back. And I don't know, it just left me wanting. I didn't get that. All right, there it is. There it is right there. That's what I'm looking for. That's my dog. That's what I'm looking for. I really didn't get that. Really didn't get that from him. I really didn't get that. I really didn't get that from Taylor. I don't know, something. I know it's just one game, but I don't know. I wasn't impressed with him. I was impressed that, good gracious, they using him. You got to run a RB1. Got an RB1 workload. Phillip Rivers throws interception in the red zone. It was for Mo Alley Cox, but it was picked. So Mo Alley Cox could have had another TD to his day. T.Y. Hilton dropped a dime from Rivers, which is very rare. He's throwing dimes, but he threw one to. He threw a dime to T.Y. Hilton, but he dropped it. So T.Y. Hilton could have had a touchdown. Jags versus Titans. Play action pass right out the gate to Jonnu Smith. He could have scored on the play, but 2 plays later, while they were right down on the goal line, he scored. So he got his score, but he should have took that right on there for the touchdown. Jonnu and Humphries, Adam Humphries and Jonnu Smith have stepped up their games in the absence of A.J. Brown. They're being called on to fill that void. Corey Davis called a TD. Y'all can have him. I'm not. I don't want none of that. I give you a third. The Jags were ready for Derrick Henry. They bottled him up pretty much all game. They were playing. They were ready for him. Lots of movement from the O-line. Lots of penalties. They were offsides. They were false starting a lot from the O-line. Tennessee is a football team. That's a football team. These Titans, those guys play football. I'm talking about. And they play as a unit. They play together. Everybody has a role. And those guys do your job team. Don't worry about me. I'm doing my job. Don't worry about him. He's doing his job. They do their job. They know their roles and they do it, which makes it a team. It's not pretty much one player that's bigger than all this. This thing, everybody's working together to make this. You coming in off the bench, you coming in, you know what this team knows what they need to do. And they get out, put their head down, they don't mind. They don't mind smacking you. They don't mind getting physical. They'll throw you out the club. It's one of those type teams. Watching this team, it looks very similar to what Mcveigh is doing. I need to look and see if there's any ties there. This looks like Sean Mcveigh. Laviska Shenault got an early catch and run. If they ramp him up as far as a running back and as far as a wide receiver, if they ramp up his usage and start giving him at least 8 to 10 carries and then giving him 7 targets, man, this dude, he's going to pop. He's going to pop. He's going to be as good as what y'all was saying Antonio Gibson should be. This is what Laviska Shenault is going to be what y'all think Antonio Gibson should be. DJ Chark looks like he might not play tomorrow night. I think he has a hamstring injury or something. I don't know what the injury is. Don't quote me on that. But it looks like he might not go. But DJ Chark is more of your big play guy. He's going 15 to 20 yards downfield. So when he catches the ball, it's pretty much a explosive play is what they call it. James Robinson is okay this season. He'll get stepped on next year, but man, he's catching the ball. He caught a touchdown. He's a good running back. He really is. Chark should have called a TD, but it got knocked out of his hands. It was a tough loss for the Jags. These guys they're playing football. Broncos versus Steelers. Courtlin Sutton, he went down during the game, but it's official. He's an X. Welcome to the club, Courtlin Sutton. Welcome to the X receiver club. He's a bona fide X receiver. He can get it done. Courtlin Sutton can get this done. You can build a team around Courtlin Sutton. Courtlin Sutton, yeah, he's passed the test. Drew Lock got hurt, broke his clavicle or something, so he's out. KJ Hamler, he's small. He looks frail. Fant didn't get a target until the mid-third quarter, but luckily he found the end zone. Jerry Jeudy, he got to grow up quickly now that the X is down, Courtlin Sutton. So he's getting ready to get a crash course on how to beat coverages as the number one wide receiver. So he might not produce like you really want him to now because I don't know if he's ready for this. But it's going to help his growth in the future that he does get this crash course. Jeudy drops a lot of passes. Concentration drops. I don't mind concentration drops. He's starting to give me, when you start giving me two crucial drops, I'm talking about you wide open and the ball just go through your hands. I don't know, man. I'm not counting drops against him right now. It's a mulligan. But we need to clean that up. We need jugs. We need the jugs machine. Whatever happened to Royce Freeman? Melvin Gordon is getting ready to put a stranglehold on his backfield duties. He's looking good out there. Deontay Johnson for the Steelers, still making rookie mistakes. He had a pass from Big Ben it was a bad pass from Ben, but that should have had 2 TDs on the day. He was wide open, but Big Ben just threw it too far behind him in the end zone. He didn't lead him. Deontay had a kickoff return come back. He went all the way to the house on a kickoff return, but it was holding, so it came back. So you had no idea that happened. That's why you got to watch these games. You got to know, because this stuff, if you're looking at this stuff and you kind of factor it in, it gives you a different out. You're looking at things, he ain't doing nothing. You're looking at the box score, but then you watch the game. Oh man, he could have had 2 TDs that game. He could have went over 100 yards. He could have went over 130 yards and 2 tubs. Big difference. But he could have. And he could have had a return TD. So in your return leads, that got called back for holding. Man, he has sick moves in the open field. This little guy could play. This little guy can move, but I'm starting to see now he's a little bit rawer than what I anticipated. When I did my unlock video, I thought it was further along. But he has a little bit of things he has to clean up. He and Big Ben clean up. But, man, look out for this dude when he gets it. When this dude gets it, you need to look out. He's already the most targeted guy on the team. He and Juju could finish like this at the end of the season as far as fantasy points. And he's raw. You see what I'm saying? So he's already producing, and he got stuff he needs to clean up. So he can take another jump. Is what I'm saying. Big Ben's arm seems okay, and it was a James Conner redeem himself game. Let's see. I'll do 2 more. I'll do 3 more, and I'll wrap it up. Texans Ravens. Ravens. A gap sound on defense. They sit there. All right, I got this gap. You got this one. You got the B. You got the C. You got the D. You got the A, B, C, D. And they're sound. They don't cheat. Well, you need help. He's coming over here. Nah, this is my gap. Whether he comes here or not, this is my gap. He could go backside. He could go front side and then come backside, and man's there waiting to tackle. So David Johnson had nowhere to run. But he's a heck of a blocker. David Johnson, boy, putting them boys down in pass pro. His pass pro is ridiculous. No Will Fuller this game, and without Will Fuller, this whole offense it comes down a big notch. Without Will Fuller's a huge key to this offense breathing. Offensive line got whooped. Texans run pretty much A-B gap. No toss cracks and pitches. It seems like they don't really believe in those, or no screens. This was pretty much just give it to Johnson. He's running straight up the A-gap. They got to get a little creative there. Deshaun Watson is pretty much running for his life on like every play. Every play out there, he got the ball. He's running around like I don't know how long this can last. Watson just missed David Johnson for a bomb that would have went for 6 right down the sideline, but he had just came doing all this and ducking and coming under and pushing this guy off, and finally he had like 2 seconds of window before the other guys crashed on him to throw the ball, and he threw it and he missed David Johnson. Marquis Brown on the jet sweep to start the game for the Ravens. Marquis Brown just got missed on a TD, so he could have had a TD. Teams are catching up to running Lamar. He's starting to go down a little bit easy. He's starting to slide a little bit. So I said he was arrogant last video, so I might have to retract that. He looks like coaches. Hey, look, man, you got to slide, dog. That's what I think the coaches kind of sat him down. Texas were all over Mark Andrews. They were like, "You beat us. It ain't Mark." Gus Edwards' running style is perfect for the Ravens. Watching Mike Gesicki, man, was that a coming out party or what? You saw it on your fantasy points. I saw the game. He was one-handing them and going up over your 2 hands. That was a come-out party. Now, I don't know if he'll do that every game, but now the coaching staff is going to be there for a while. Now they see, you see what I'm saying? Now the coaches, they see you doing it in practice, and now you come out there and you, Get off me. In the game, changes things. We had a Preston Williams sighting. Myles Gaskins. I put him about thumbs up, thumbs down. He's about right there. He's a serviceable back, kind of like James Robinson for the Titans. For the Jaguars. They're decent. They're good for fantasy football. You can run them, but don't fall in love and keep them. Make sure they're off your roster this time next year. But I'll just go ahead and wrap it up there. Don't want to go too long, but if you want more, just email me at thefantasytyphoon@hotmail.com. I'll be glad to send you over my notes. But week 2 recap, Fantasy Typhoon. Make sure you smash the like button. Make sure you subscribe. As you can see, I changed my digs in the background. Just gave the green screen a rest. We tried a new way now, just for this show. I hadn't pulled this out for a minute. Thank you for watching. Subscribe, comment, like. We're trying to go somewhere, build a community here. The Fantasy Typhoon Studios. We gone.